Hi, it's Angelica Torn, and I'm downtown doing Edge at the Bleecker Street Theaters. We're watching the barryz show.
Hi, it's barryz from the barryz show backstage in the dressing room of Angelica Torn, who stars in Edge at the Bleecker Street Theaters, right?
That's right.
And you play Sylvia Plath.
Sylvia Plath.
From the Bell Jar.
From the Bell Jar.
Wow. And I'm also on the Edge. That's why I love the Edge. And I love Angelica Torn.
What is that? If you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much room.
Exactly. And happy holidays from Angelica and barryz, right? Love you. Got to see this show. It's great.
Thanks.
Love you.
Hi, this is James Edstrom from TimesSquareGossip.com. For all your gossip and news stories, come to our website, www.timesquaregossip.com, and do it now, right after the barryz show.
Hi, it's barryz from the barryz show backstage at the Bleecker Street Theaters, talking to singer-actress Angelica Torn, who stars in Edge, right?
That's right. Hi, Barry.
Wow.
I got caught in a little traffic, so you're going to have to watch me get ready.
So you're transforming yourself into Sylvia Plath.
I am. I am.
Wow. I described you as singer and actress. You sing in this new movie called what, Lucky Days?
Lucky Days, I do not. I do not. I have some wonderful musicians that I put in the soundtrack, but I do not.
Tell me about this movie. We can't wait to see it.
Oh, my God. I wrote it 14 years ago, and we finally shot it last summer because I had to, mainly because Coney Island is going through a lot of changes. And the film actually takes place during that time. I guess being a New Yorker, I knew it was going to happen eventually, that a lot of it was going to be shut down. And so it's Federico Castelluccio's in it, my father Rip Torn, Ann Jackson, Marilyn Sokol, and on and on. It's really, really cool.
Now, you're the daughter of Geraldine Page, who I know from Whatever Happened to Aunt Alice with Ruth Gordon.
Punctuality is essential to a gracious way of life, which I do not intend to give up on account of you.
Well, I've been trying to prepare a lovely meal. And that cannot be done with all the complaints and
I warn
interruptions.
you not to raise your voice.
I would like to be heard for once. If you want to live like some duchess, some Maharani, you better learn to behave like one.
Rip Torn, who we know from everything, right?
Yeah, from almost everything.
Is Rip Torn his real name?
That was the name he and all the oldest, the firstborn sons, I should say, in the Torn families. There, up until a few years ago, there were 4 Rip Torns. I think now there's 2 or 3. It's not on his birth certificate, but it was a given. It's a given family nickname.
Now tell me about Edge. Why is it called Edge?
Edge was the last poem that we know of that Sylvia Plath wrote before she died. Some of the poems were rearranged that we found out later by her husband after she died. So he arranged Edge as the last poem, which was about suicide, but there is some discrepancy as to whether that actually was the last poem that she wrote. But it's famously the last poem that she wrote.
What is the story about?
Edge? We explored what would have been the last day of her life.
I succumbed again and again and again. Ted was pure sex. He was violent and out of control. I was enraptured. When it was over, when the pain of his fury lingered on my body like a poison, I turned my head to see him. He was standing across the room, framed by the light falling in from the window. Beastly and satisfied, he seemed more demonic than ever as he bent down to pick up his underwear. He was a god I wanted to worship. He was an addiction I did not want to cure. He was damaging and unyielding, and I longed for him.
How does it take place?
It takes place, well, she died in 1963, but we go back through her childhood as well. So the first act really explores the 50s and the 40s when she was a young woman just starting out at college. And then the second act, we plunge right into the last 6 months of her life. So we really set up the earlier part and her as a child, her going through shock therapy that she went through when she was a kid and, well, relatively a kid, you know, in her early 20s. And then second act, we plunge into the last few months of her relationship with her husband, who was also a poet, Ted Hughes.
Apparently he had some kind of similar experiences with his ex-wives who all committed suicide.
Well, they didn't all commit suicide, but 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right?
Did he push Sylvia to commit suicide?
Some people believe that he did. But she also, I think that it was something that she was also looking for in a man. She wrote about it. Every woman adores a fascist, a boot in the face. So she definitely had some issues.
Now let's talk about your film career. If we want to go home with you and take you to bed with us, tonight we can rent. Let's start with Domestic Disturbance.
Domestic Disturbance was a lot of fun with John Travolta.
I don't know what Ray likes better, to screw or watch basketball.
They used to get me this.
I know that lighter. See? Oh, yeah.
My birthday a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I like this lighter.
Yeah, it's not even real.
Yeah, but I like the horseshoe thing. Buy it from you. How much?
I don't know. It's a pretty nice lighter. $25.
Cool.
What about Nobody's Fool with Paul Newman?
Yeah, that was my first film.
He called in sick. He's on the phone. He's in the Bahamas. Take your pick. He doesn't want to see you.
The Bahamas sound swell. Ruby, grab his checkbook. We'll take off.
There's about 1,000 other guys I would take with me before you.
Thanks, honey.
And were you in The Sixth Sense?
I was.
What'd you play in that?
Mrs. Collins. I poisoned my daughter.
You were keeping her sick.
What legacy did Sylvia Plath leave the world?
Truth. Just raw, unadulterated, confessional, exposed soul. She didn't, she just told it the way that she felt it without worrying about what people thought about her.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right. That's right. Attaboy, Clarence.